and it's so aromatic. You know, pimento is so unique to Jamaica. Like pimento, ginger, or Scotch bonnet is second to none in the world. Hey guys, it's Chef Brian Lumley and welcome to my Maggi cooking lesson. I started in the culinary industry about 15 years ago. Don't let the baby face fool you. I started out at Heart. I'm from Kingston originally, one of 3 kids. I'm the middle child and my mom taught all of us how to cook. But I figured out a way that, you know, when we get to the dining table, if I help cook in the kitchen, I can eat out some of the food. So by the time I reach the dining table, our belly is half full, you see. So from that, I just started to evoke the passion, and I realized that I was pretty good at it, and it just started lighting that flame from there, you know, that flame. And I went to Heart. After Heart, I did like 4.5 years at Heart, and in between that, I was doing competitions. I was doing a second job, and I did that. Came back to Kingston, got a job as the personal chef to the French ambassador, and that kind of started my, well, not started, kind of refined my gourmet journey. And after the French embassy, I spent like another 4 years there. I opened my own restaurant, and that was 689 by Brian Lumley. And that got a lot of critical acclaim, both from critics and the wider public. It was a very successful restaurant. We ran it for 2 years until I closed it and I had to go to Qatar. And my journey to Qatar, that's in the Middle East, that was a very interesting journey. I worked for some pretty powerful people and members of the royal family. And they wanted me to take Caribbean cuisine over to that country. And so I learned a lot. I learned a lot from the background and setting up restaurants, and it was on the pier, so it was like on a waterfront type restaurant. And I left, I did 1 year there, setting that up, and I left and came back to the Caribbean, to Grenada, and spent 1 year at a top hotel there by the name of Spice Island Beach Resort. Very cool hotel, very top class, top ingredients. That's the first time I had frog's legs there, you know what I mean? It was a very intricate celebration of Caribbean cuisine. You know, the top meats, top seafood, various different fish. It was just so rich and dynamic in its offerings, right? I left from there and came back to Sandals, and I spent 2.5 years at Sandals. And then I left there and came to my now current location, which is District 5 at the R Hotel in New Kingston, where I started and head the food and beverage program there for the hotel. And thanks to Mr. Joe Bogdanovich, we're doing some really cool and special things there. Joe Bogdanovich, as well as the board, right? So that's where I am now. That's what I'm up to. And I just want to, you know, help bring their vision to life, which is to bring an eclectic mix of food and entertainment to Kingston's dining scene. Today I'll be creating a home-style 3-course meal with a little bit of a gourmet twist, you know, because we're doing it for a special lady today, right? And everyone on this earth has someone special like that in their lives. We're talking about our moms, right? So for that 3-course menu that we're going to get into, it's a cream of pumpkin soup. Then we're going to move on into a guava glazed pan-fried chicken breast. And then we're going to have a rum and raisin ice cream finished with a little bit of a coconut rum caramel and a chocolate glazed syrup with flambéed bananas. Now you may be wondering, what are flambéed bananas? It's very easy, and I'm going to show you exactly how to do it. All right, I'm going to give you the secrets and what you need to get this done. And it's not going to be so difficult. The name might sound fancy, but I want you to follow me step by step as I take you through it. I want to showcase that Jamaica is is much more than curry goat and jerk chicken. There's just so much more flavors and styles and techniques that we have to offer, basically. You know, this little country showing so much culture, rich with reggae music and dancehall and all our clownmanship, you know, our personality. Our food is just like that, you know, rich with personality, rich with flavors. So I want to showcase that. So the first thing we're going to get into is our soup, all right? So for Jamaicans love this soup. I too, it's one of my favorite soups. If I go to any function, weddings, whatever, I'm going to order cream of pumpkin soup, all right? Now, to get this done, you're gonna need a few simple ingredients, right? You're gonna need some pumpkin, you're gonna need some Irish potato, because the Irish potato is gonna give it a little bit of a body, right? Because I want as much flavor in it, you can do it a vegetarian style, so you can omit the chicken stock, but I want that chicken flavor, so we're gonna go with a home style chicken stock, which is just the bones from the chicken, mixed with a little seasoning, some garlic, some pepper, some pimento, carrot, onion, and we cook that for about 40 minutes, just like making a chicken broth almost, like you'll make a noodle soup. And you strain that and you have the liquid reserve, all right? What makes Caribbean cuisine, or pretty much the definition of it, is it's kind of like our people, you know, how bold we are, the colors, the flavors, the depth of flavors. You don't really start to appreciate and understand what we have here until you start to travel. When you start to travel and you can't get scotch bonnet pepper, or you can't get pimento, or you can't get the right type of ginger, then you start to see that, wow, you know, what we have here at home is so potent. I mean, there's incredible food available worldwide and overseas, but in a lot of the places, you really can't get the quality that we are accustomed to. You know, a lot of other places overseas, it's filled with a lot of GMOs. And so I oftentimes said Jamaicans, the average Jamaican don't really know what organic is, you know, because majority of our stuff is already organic. You know, we don't have those title differentiations or associations here. So we're really, really blessed to have a rich diversity of ingredients and a cuisine. And my aim as a chef in this industry is to showcase that. So for the pumpkin, you just cut it into a smaller piece. You take off the skin, all right? And you want to get your mise en place in place. And what is mise en place? Just another fancy word we learned in culinary school to say, put all of your ingredients in order, right? So you're gonna have your pumpkin, you're gonna have your carrot, you're gonna have your onions, you're gonna have your garlic, all those things, right? Put that in my garbage. So you want to get the pumpkin into more manageable pieces. So let me cut that. All right, the carrot, I have a vegetable peeler. A lot of people at home, they'll scrape the carrots. That is fine too. I just find that scraping your carrot dull your knife really, really quickly. So if you don't have a vegetable peeler, they're really, really cheap and easy to get nowadays. Just get one of those, because then it makes your life so much easier, right? Scrape that off. All right, now why I put in carrot in the cream of pumpkin soup, not only does it add a tinge of sweetness, but it also helps with the color. And when we're gonna blend it, adds a subtle background depth of flavor, right? As a matter of fact, if you don't even have pumpkin, you can make a soup out of carrot, Irish potato, and ginger. And that makes a really, really good soup. All right, so cut carrot into smaller pieces. You need about, so to this I have about a half pound of pumpkin, piece of pumpkin. And then I'll say about 2 medium Irish potatoes and 2 carrots, all right? Now you heat your pot to medium heat. All right, and you're just gonna pretty much just add these items to it. All right. All of your seasonings as well, you're gonna add. So you peel off your onions. Now this is why you see chefs, they have so many multiple knives. You know, at home and growing up and watching my mom, she never had these different tools. The same knife she used cut the onions, the same knife she used peel onion, scrape carrot. It's just a one utility knife, right? But these knives, they make your life a little bit easier, right? Because it's small, it's manageable, and it helps to work very quickly. Because in a kitchen, in a chef's world, we peel so many onions and so many different things. To have this peeling all of them is gonna hurt your hand eventually. So that is why we use these different knives. All right, so quickly, we use about half of an onion. All right, I'm gonna add this to the pot. All right, then I have some ginger here. Just rinse that. And add some scallion and some celery as well. All right. All right, so that's like a 1 stalk celery and 1 stalk of scallion. Now the celery is optional. There's some people who don't love it, but it adds a nice taste and background flavor to the soup. All right. For the Scotch bonnet pepper and the pimentos and stuff like that, I will add them a little bit last, like after I blend the soup, right? So for now, I'm gonna add my Maggi coconut milk, and this is the liquid form of it, which is really convenient because I don't have to mix out anything, and I can just add it to the pot straight away, right? So add the coconut milk. I'm gonna add a piece of the ginger, but let me just get this cleaned up a bit. So, ginger, just crush that. All right, and then I'm gonna grate a little bit of nutmeg. From now, I'm gonna add some now and some later. All right, so let me increase my heat to high. All right, you can add some salt at this point, and gonna need the Maggi all-purpose. All right, so I have my nutmeg, and I'm gonna take some Maggi all-purpose seasoning from my Maggi flavor box. And I'll add 1 sachet to the pot. All right, I see that coming to a boil. Now, don't forget this piece of ginger in here. You just want it to boil down with the soup, but don't forget it, because we don't want that to blend in the soup, right? So I'll remove it and then blend the soup, and then I'll add maybe back another piece. I'll add the cinnamon leaf, I'll add some thyme and pimento to the soup after it's blended, right? And that's when we kind of refine the flavor in that. For now, I just want the coconut milk to kind of bubble down a bit and reduce and concentrate. And then at the same time, start to release some of the flavor from the celery, from the onions. I'm gonna add garlic as well. Thank you for reminding me. See, somebody say it in at home in our, I hear you, I hear it. Thank you for reminding me. All right. And you just want to take off all the little mash. I find that when you have a lot of garlic to peel and so on, crushing it just eases it out of the skin so easily. You can also put it in the microwave. A lot of people ask that question as well. Yes, you can put it in the microwave and it will kind of loosen the skin and then it comes out of the skin easier. But I don't like that the microwave kind of semi-cooks it. So sometimes I usually avoid it. All right. All right. Garlic goes in. All right. Clean up back the board. All right, let's see how that is coming down now. And you really don't want it to stick, but you just want to continuously stirring and watch it. I'll just take a little spoon and taste where it's at. Just, oh, wonderful. All right, then I'll take my chicken stock here. A good feature of chicken stock is that it's clear, light, golden brown in color, and you see some little oil droplets on top. That is totally fine, right? So we're gonna add about half of this. This is about 1 liter. I will add half of it, and we can add some water because we want to reserve some of the chicken stock for the sauce for the chicken, right? All right. So I have that, and then my water. You know what? Let me tell you what I'm gonna do with this ginger. I'll show you a little trick. So, you know the bag that the garlic comes out of? Well, you can save them, and you can crush some garlic. All right. Let me just reserve a few for something that I want to do later. You can add the garlic to this, all right? Once you add the garlic, add your ginger. Add some fine pimento berries, right? It just smells so aromatic. You know, pimento is so unique to Jamaica. Like pimento, ginger, or Scotch bonnet is second to none in the world. All right? Gotta use up these seasonings. All right? And mix them to get the best out of it. Cinnamon leaf in soup, yeah man. If you never try that, you learn something today. All right, so you tie this. And what I even like to do is kind of just crack the pimento a bit, right? Add it back to the soup. So I'll adjust the heat, turn that down to like medium high. So you don't want it boiling aggressively, but you want it to boil and cook and make sure that it's simmered down beautifully, all right? All right, so while that soup is on, what you can start to do is season the chicken breast, right? We'll soon put on the caramel sauce because you want that to have, you know, a nice, you want it to set and just, you know, relax in there. So just before I go to the chicken breast, I'll start the caramel sauce. All you're gonna need is some condensed milk, right? And then Maggi liquid coconut milk again. And normally I'll use brown sugar, but I'm gonna use the sweetened condensed milk this time. And I'm gonna use a little bit of white rum, right? Very, very simple ingredients. But what you want is a low flame on the condensed milk to turn it into caramel, all right? So let's get started. I have our pot here on low. All right, we're gonna increase the heat. I'm gonna put our condensed milk. Now, remember this caramel sauce is for our dessert, right? And we're making a coconut version because usually it's made with whipped cream, butter, and it's very rich, right? What we want to do is is to kind of lighten it a bit. So it's much more healthy using the coconut milk, right? I find that you're gonna get a lot more of a Jamaican flavor with this, and it's gonna be an amazing addition to the ice cream and flambéed bananas, all right? So let me cut this. I'm not ready for it just yet, but I'm just preparing so that once it caramelizes, because it's gonna happen so quick, by the time they blink of an eye, it starts to turn brown. You know, that's sugar for you. It's just like planting. As you turn it back, it brown. All right? So, while that simmers, chicken breast, we're gonna make the seasoning for the chicken breast, right? So I'll just rest the garlic on here. I love Maggi seasonings. I use it as a flavor enhancer. I grew up on these seasonings, and there's a lot of times people tend to overuse it. So sometimes it gets a bad rap when people think, oh, Maggi is just too salty and this, but I just think people use it in the wrong way, right? I oftentimes tell my chefs that, listen, it is a flavor enhancer. It is so good as a complementary item to whatever you're cooking. And once you understand the fundamentals of cooking and start to extract that flavor, Maggi is gonna take it to a whole new level. So to make the spice rub for the chicken breast, we're gonna use Maggi all-purpose seasoning. Then I'm gonna jump over to the box and get our Maggi with ginger. And we're gonna use a little bit of the ginger powder, like a half teaspoon. And then we're gonna use about 2 teaspoons. Or just use a whole sachet, it's fine. You can put up the rest, all right? I have salt here. You don't have to use salt because Maggi already has salt in it, but I just like to use just a little bit to kind of balance it out when I'm making a large amount, right? I need some black pepper. I have some back here, right? Just add that to it. And then this is another great ingredient. It's a Maggi Nutrissimo, right? I don't know if I got that pronunciation right, but let's call it complete seasoning. It's a really good complete seasoning. They have some dehydrated onions and garlic flakes in it and a bunch of other herbs and spices and just make everything nice, right? So this also has salt in it, so you really, really and truly don't need salt, right? So switch it around. All right, I'll keep this here because I'm gonna check on the condensed milk. I'm pretty sure I can add the coconut milk now, right? Yeah, definitely. So I'm gonna add all of the coconut milk. All right. Soup also looking very good and smelling really good as well. Now, chicken breast, gonna drain the excess moisture. And you just need to season this back and forth, right? This little piece, people always keep wondering, it's called the chicken tenderloin. You can just remove it, right? You can have it as an addition to any meal. You can put it in pasta, it's really good in that. And it's just a softer portion of the breast, right? When you sear it, it's much more tender than the breast itself, all right? So we season that very good. Now, a lot of Jamaicans will like to use like green marinade and so on, but because we're gonna pan fry the chicken, you don't want to add any wet seasonings to it, right? You really want to keep it as dry as possible. So you want a dry rub, right? So this is the dry rub that I'm giving you. The trick to it is that ensure that you massage the seasonings into the meat so that you kind of draw out the moisture from the meat and really marinate it properly, right? You can go under the skin as well, right? That's where a lot of the flavor is found. So don't be shy, flick it up, just have it. Get all of the spices, right? Marinating. All right, so now that I have the chicken marinating, I'm gonna quickly check on my caramel sauce. All right, you need a whisk. Ooh. And that's all right if you see these sediments, that brown sediments in it, that's perfectly fine. You can blend that out or you can strain it. You don't have to worry about it. Just continue to whisk, right? All right. Then I'm gonna add a pinch of salt and a little bit of the rum. Rum is over here. White rum. All right. So we're going to increase the heat and just let that cook. All right. Let's give it a taste and see where it's at. Ooh. It's like that subtle rum and raisin ice cream kind of vanilla-ish flavor. Like a lot of things going on for it. And it's just 3 simple ingredients. It's just incredible how that can come out. But you just want to let it continue to simmer and reduce, and then you find the right peak flavor to take it off at, all right? So let me take off the soup. I just need a spoon to check what's going on in it. All right, so you see that? Pumpkin, soft, Irish, soft. Can remove that. All right, what we can do is I need a bowl. So just rest this on the side. All right. So now the soup is how it's looking, right? Remember my scotchy? So now I'm gonna crack that, and then I have a Vitamix blender here, right? So what I oftentimes recommend to people, if you're gonna blend your soup, I would say for the best safety measure, cool it down first and then blend it, right? But in this blender, I can do it at a really low speed, so it's not going to explode in my face or anything like that, all right? So I'll continue to load that. But if you don't have a blender that have a really low speed, I don't recommend you blending the hot soup, all right? All right, so I'm gonna rinse out the pot because when I blend the soup, I'm gonna add it back to this. All right, I'm gonna rest this back on the stove. Caramel sauce doing great. All right, and then to blend, so always check your blender first. You know, different people use it. Make sure it's on the lowest speed, everything is down, and then you start. All right, and you see that slow turn, because it starts on a high, it will just flick up and explode. So you're blending, and you want to ensure that it's on a low heat. If it was on a high heat, it will just, boom, explode the top and could injure yourself and so on. So you don't want to do that. All right, turn it up. You just want to blend it as smooth as possible. So you just want to check it, give it another stir, because you want it to be as smooth as possible, right? Very silky and nice. And one of the tricks that the Irish potato adds to it and the carrot is that the more you blend it, you just blend it again, it will develop the silky texture, right? Almost like you're doing purees, right? And you get that, you don't want it too thick, you don't want it too thin kind of mode. So I'll put it back again. And this is where you can add more coconut milk or more water or more stock to it, depending on how rich it is, right? It's perfect. I think we're there. All right. Wow, look at that. So silky, smooth, velvety. It's almost like when you have a nice creamy mashed potato and you eat that with cheese and it just melts off in your mouth. Yeah, man. You're there. Once you have that soup. All right, so soup is in the pot. Get all the last bit. See that? You know what? I'll save a little bit of the soup for something I'm gonna show you later, like a garnish, right? Because people always wonder, you know, how we make the plates pretty and that kind of thing. I'm gonna show you. My personal trick. All right. So let's get the blender rinsed out because we're gonna need it to blend the caramel sauce. All right. All right. So blender is clean. So we're gonna get our caramel sauce in. And this is our coconut caramel sauce. Coconut rum caramel sauce. See that? It reduced right back down to almost a syrupy consistency. All right. It's not gonna be much to blend in it, but that's okay. Just blend it on a high speed and you'll be fine. All right, same procedure. Put it down low, start from low and then to high, right? All right. See, that becomes smooth caramel. All right, pour this out. And that's a caramel sauce with a little character. All right, so now we've had all of that. We're gonna put on our potatoes. All right, so I'm going to put the potatoes on. In the meantime, I need some water, salted water. I'm gonna add some cubed potatoes. And we'll make a nice mash, right? This mash is gonna have a little milk, sliced cheese, and sliced scallions. All right. Put out some of this. So soup over here is looking good. I can put it here. All right. Let me get some salt in that. Not too much, remember, I have to be careful with the salt intake, especially nowadays. All right, I'm gonna add the Scotch bonnet pepper and the seasoning bag that I added earlier to the soup. And that will just continue to simmer in the soup. I'm also gonna add a stalk of scallion. Make sure you wash it. Just have it in the soup. All right. All right, so what's next? So in the meantime, well, let me peel one more potato because I have this one here. You can use your vegetable peeler for this as well, right? It really just removes the skin so that when you peel a potato, you don't waste too much of the potato, right? You just get the skin off, that's it. All right, get everything. These little spots that you have, just take your paring knife and just kind of dig them out, right? There you go. Clean back the board. And then you just cube your potatoes. Just big chunks, right? Because you're gonna mash it with a fork, so you want it too small. It's easier to mash when they're whole like that. All right. Put this in the pot. All right. All right. So in the meantime, the potato is getting done, right? What we're gonna do, we're gonna work on the sauce for the chicken, right? So remember, the potato is for the starch in your second course. The first course is pretty much done. Your third course is pretty much done because I have the chocolate syrup here, I have the caramel here. The ripe banana is the only thing left to do. And that's really easy to do the farm base, just melted sugar, put the banana in, put some rum, get some flames going, and you're good. That's a little bit hard to do on an electric stove, but if you have a matches or flame, you can just ignite the alcohol and it's easy to do, right? So, sauce. For my sauce, I'm gonna need barbecue sauce, guava jam, a little bit of vinegar, and I'm gonna use some garlic and some ginger. All right? Now, the first thing we have to do is get a pot on the fire, all right? So you can use a sauce pot. Let me just try the base of this. All right, you're gonna add your guava jam. All right, I'm not gonna use all of it, I use some of it. While the jam is going, you're gonna crush the garlic and crush the ginger. And let that just simmer along with it. All right, let me just rest this over here while all of that come to a boil and simmer. So we can start to fry our chicken. So you need a clean pan, free of any debris. All right, you're gonna get some olive oil and vegetable oil. You're just gonna coat the base of the pan, all right? Now, you wanna mix the vegetable oil and a little olive oil because olive oil will give a nice golden flavor. If you don't have olive oil, that's okay. You can use coconut oil as well. But you just need enough for it to coat the base of the pan because we're gonna do a pan fry, all right? Excellent. All right, so the guava jam starting to melt and it's cooking with the garlic and the ginger. I can add a sprig of thyme to that. And just let it melt in with the sauce, right? Makes it so good with the sauce when you flavor it this early to extract that flavor. Then you add your tip of vinegar and your barbecue to cut through the sweetness. And then you add your chicken stock to kind of balance it out, right? So you're looking for something sweet and savory at the same time to go along with your chicken breast, all right? The oil is heating up. And in the meantime that heats up, we can move our chicken breast closer. All right, so you can keep an eye. The soup is simmering nicely. The potatoes, you don't want it to be aggressive because you don't want that splatter to come over into the oil. So you have to be very careful of that. All right, I light my oven to 375 degrees Fahrenheit. So that's ready and waiting. If you want to test the oil, good. You just want to see the little bubbles that form at first. That's perfect. You want to lay the chicken breast away from it. Right. All right. Now this part is really important because you want to be able to leave it and control the heat. So you see it's getting aggressive now. I'll turn it a bit down. But you want it to stay quite a long time, like 3 to 5 minutes on the skin side to get a nice crisp of the skin. All right. Our guava jam is coming now. So chicken breast looks good. I can add my barbecue sauce. Add about a cup or so. I have to be careful with this oil. This oil loves to splatter. And it takes no prisoners. A tip of vinegar. All right. And then the remainder of your chicken stock. So I won't put all of it. There's a lot of dregs that you see there. So I'm gonna throw that away. And then just have the sauce simmering until it reaches the right temperature you want. All right, and take out another tongue. Oh, you see that? That's beautiful. What you're looking for there. And push down the chicken breast. You can kind of peek at the chicken and see. That's what you're looking for, that brown golden color. So I'll put it down for a little bit more. All right, see that? Coming along really nicely. The chicken tenderloins are gonna cook way before the chicken, so you have to carefully see that. Bubbling, bubbling, bubbling. All right, and turn over your chicken breast now. Turn over our chicken breast. Doing good. I'm just gonna get something to put the chicken in the oven. Alright, this chicken is nice and ready. Alright. Now, at this point, the chicken is like half cooked, but you see, you have a nice crispy skin. All right. These are pretty much fully cooked, so you don't want to put these in the oven with this because this is gonna be really overcooked, right? So you can put these to the side. I just rest them in a bowl here until I need that. And then if you're not going to be ready for the chicken, I would say you could finish it and keep it warm, or you can put it down until you're ready or close to plating up. But we're not so far off because the potato is cooking, vegetables are gonna go in soon. So I'm gonna put it in the oven. This is gonna be in the oven for 8 to 10 minutes and that will cook your chicken breast perfectly, right? Once you poke it and you see that it's kind of firm, or if you have a thermometer, you can stick it in, and once it gets to 165 degrees Celsius, it's fine. You can take it out, it's perfectly cooked. All right, I'm gonna go in. All right, sauce is looking good. And then potatoes are coming along nicely. So for the potatoes, you're going to need, as I said, milk. So I'll take this. Let me start to get prepared. So some Nestle Omega milk here. All right. Just need a small amount. A little bit of nutmeg. Put it here. here. Some Maggi liquid coconut milk. And I just love the balance of the coconut milk and the milk in mashed potatoes. Right? It's really nice. And then sliced cheese. We're gonna melt it down and infuse it in the potato. It's gonna be so good, so creamy, so decadent. It's like it's gonna have a velvety texture, like you eat a hot mac and cheese fresh off the stove. You know what I mean? My philosophy in cooking, similar to what I said before, is really to expose the Jamaican component of the dish, to let those ingredients shine. But also, my philosophy dictates that we keep it a little bit light, not as rich. We try to infuse coconut milk in some of the dishes a lot so that we can cut back on using like heavy cream that is normally fattier and heavier. And it's to really give to people that gift of that sensual experience. That's where my philosophy really ties down, is to help them get to a level where it's almost orgasmic. You know, it's just like that depth of flavor. There's something that they call umami, and not a lot of people know about it. And it's like that fifth flavor sensation that is found at the back of your tongue. And whenever you combine flavors or foods that strike up that umami experience, I think if you translate that to a Jamaican mentality, they would say, yo, this sweet to the belly. It's just that kind of sensation that you put, especially when they discover something, when they taste one component, but then afterwards they taste the 3 or 4 or 5 components, you know, like having the chicken mixed with the cheesy mashed potato and then the sauce, and then add a little pepper sauce to that. And it just gives you a new sensation. That's where my philosophy lies. All right. And we're gonna need some garlic. All right. Last cheese. And then I'm gonna need some garlic. So I'm gonna take about 3 or 4 cloves. So cut the base of that. Smash. All right. And then take it off, take out the skin. These cloves are really big, so I'll probably just use 2 instead, because I really don't want to overpower the taste of the mashed potatoes with garlic. But it does taste good in mashed potatoes, you have to admit. All right. One of the things that makes dishes bitter is this little middle piece here in the garlic. So if you don't want it too bitter, just remove that. All right. See it? That green sprout, it's just like another garlic being born. All right, so cut it up, mince it. And as soon as I take off the potato, I'm going to add my liquid to season my potato. Only thing I'm gonna add to this is a stick of margarine. All right? Margarine or butter, anyone you like. All right. So my soup is doing good. My chicken breast is in the oven. Potato is coming out shortly. So I'm just gonna check and see if it's cooked all the way through. Then I'm gonna strain that. put on the liquid to mash the potatoes with, and we're pretty much almost there. All right. Now, on the plate, you're gonna need some veggies, right? So we're just gonna do bell pepper, and we're gonna do carrot. But I'm gonna show you a nice little style. Since this is a special day and I did promise you a gourmet twist, I'm gonna show you a simple garnish that you can do to impress that special lady in your life. All right, so peel the carrots. You're gonna do a star tip, right? And it's very, very easy. Let me just wash this off. With a sharp, small knife, it's gonna make one cut. And where you see that cut meets, you're gonna make another cut to meet it. Like that. And you make one more cut because there's one cut on either side. Comes off. It's a little rose. All right, so we're giving her rose on this special day. See, simple. One cut, two cut, three cut. All right, one cut, turn, one cut, turn, one cut. All right. So once we have that, we just take the heart out. And the heart, do not throw it away. You know what is very good in? Just take the seeds off. And drop them in your sauce. All right? And you just leave them to simmer. All right? Now, a little trick if you wanna thicken your sauce. Let's say you find it too sweet or too vinegary and you want to kind of tone it down a bit. If you wanna thicken it, you can just add one of the potatoes, like a piece of it, and then you blend everything. And it will give the starch from the potato will thicken the sauce for you. All right, let me test my potatoes. Just take a little knife, stick it through. Yep, those are ready. So I'm gonna strain now. All right. So leave this to kind of aerate a bit, right? Then your garlic and your cheese and your milk and that coconut vibe. Slide everything out there. And you put this and let it simmer. Just slowly melt, all right? And come back down, all right? While this is aerating, because you want some of the steam to come off, and that is melting. All right, I'll put this to the side. Let me just finish up my veggies. So I'll put my carrots here. This I'll just give like some triangle cuts. All right, very easy. Nothing complicated. You know, anybody can do that at home. All right, so those are your veggies. Triangular cuts. And some roses. Come here. All right. Clear this up. All right, grab my butter. Or in this case, margarine. And 2 sticks, I think is fine. All right. Now, while that is melting, wait. Let me blend the sauce first. All right. Give it some more time to melt. Now, what I would take out, I'll take out the thyme. I'm done with this. And I'll take out the ginger, all right? Maybe I can leave a small piece in it to blend out. All right. Throw that in your blender. And blend until smooth. Now, you may have some sediments or stuff like that flying around in it still. Just take your strainer, run it through your strainer, right? And it will capture all of that small particles in there. I'll add back the piece of ginger at the bottom part and just strain. All right? And these are what I'm talking about. Like pieces of the ginger, pieces of the bell pepper. All right, you don't want that. You want really a nice smooth sauce, all right? So this I'll just put on the stove to keep warm. On this side, this is looking good. So I will now use a fork. All right. I'm pretty sure my chicken is ready. So let me check on the chicken while I bring the potatoes here. Yeah, those are looking beautiful. Yeah, you see that? It's firm right in the middle area. I think that is great. Turn this off. My cheese sauce is ready for my potatoes. So I'll smash this. All right, just use a fork, smash it. And it's very important to do this while the potatoes are still pretty warm, right? If it gets cold on you, you can have a very difficult time. All right. Now, once you got it mashed, look how lovely that looks. Velvety, smooth. That's what you really want, right? Pour this all over. You can reserve some for later. You can even reserve some and put pasta in it and make a very nice, delicious mac and cheese, homemade mac and cheese, right? All right, keep mixing that. Oh man, it looks so good already. I could eat this just as it is. It's really, really good. And this is a fork mash, so it's going to still remain a bit chunky. So it gives you like a soft, chunky mash at the same time. It's gonna go below the chicken breast. Surrounded by all the vegetables, and you put the sauce all around. That is gonna be just one amazing meal. Okay. All right, I can put that to the side a little bit. I'll take some of the onions, like the green parts of the onion, but not too high on the onion, just like this middle part here. So I'll take this and this. I can show you one more garnish with that. All right. So those I'll save for garnish. These, just cut them into rings. I'm gonna sprinkle that all in the mash. I mean, if you have veg at home, if you want sweet corn, parsley, I mean, you can add anything you want to this mash, all right? It's up to you. I love the flavor of green onions mixed in with this. It just add that last minute crunch and a sort of a slight oniony flavor, right? Almost like, you know, eat onion bits, a nice crunchy cheese tricks kind of thing. Have that kind of flavor going on. cheesy, oniony, crunchy. All right. See that? Yeah, that's good. That don't even need any salt, anything. Just put it aside here. All right, soup is done. I can switch off everything. Everything is done. Now, it's time to plate up, really. So, while I'm preparing to plate, the only thing left is the veggies. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna get another pot. All right. I'll just put a little water. All right. Remaining garlic. I still have the rum caramel, coconut caramel, chocolate sauce. This is for a little garnish on my plate. Salt and pepper. I'm gonna season this garlic water that I have here, which is sort of just like gonna blanch the veggies and cook them at the same time, right? So just let that simmer. The garnish that I promised to show you, right? You're gonna need a small knife as well. And cut this, it's like a little palm tree, right? It's a well-known garnish in the culinary field. And how they do it is just you make tiny incisions. So about an inch into the scallion. Above that, you just cut as many little sticks as you can. All right, see, you got a little tree. All right, again. You can turn that one cut. All right. You can put it in some water if you want, but I don't think it's necessary. So I'll just hold it on my cutting board there for a little bit. For the soup, this is a easy go-to garnish as well. You can actually have it like this, and just like have it on the side, right? Or you can also make circular cuts. And once you put the soup in, I'm gonna show you. So we're gonna plate the soup right now. Veg is boiling. Soup is ready. All right, so to plate your soup, nice and warm. Very carefully, just making sure not to get any soup spills on the side or anything like that. I mean, if you do, you can just get a nice clean cloth and wipe it up, right? Remember, this is a 3-course, so do not fill too much soup, right? You know what you can do? You can actually get some more of this coconut milk, right? Get a spoon, shake it up, and just pour a little bit in here. And watch this. Nice like a garnish. It's like refined, right? That's if you want to gourmet, touch it up a bit, right? Then you put a little bit of scallion. Fam, it's like blow mind kind of thing. You get me? So that's one. She must be wondering which culinary school you got after this. No doubt. All right, veg is ready. Chicken now. All right, so we're gonna bring our mash. All right. So a lot of times people ask me, how do you present, or how you find the inspiration to present a plate or decorate a plate? Now, when we have a plate like this, it normally is filled with 3 compartments, right? Starch, protein, vegetables, right? And this is very important because a lot of people ask me this question, and it's unbelievable. Now, you first have to think about where in the plate that the person is going to see. So is the person gonna get, so you see a design here on this plate and there's nothing here. So is it that this part of the plate is gonna be the main plate, and where they're sitting, they look at it here? That's very important. Those are some of the questions you have to ask. And then you want to know that, all right, the chicken is the main part of the dish. So wherever you present the chicken, that should be the star. Everything else is a background. So whether you want to plate it flat, the potato, you want to spread it flat and put the chicken on top, or whether you want to slice the chicken and put it in a circular motion, whatever you do, make sure that the chicken is front and center to the closest point of where they're gonna see, right? So for me, I'm just gonna keep it a little bit simple, not too complicated. And I know a lot of times chefs say simple, and then you just see this like extravagant thing going around. When I say simple, we just want it clean and methodic, right? So the color combination is also important. The vegetables, they're green and orange. This is a bit yellow. The chicken is brown. So I'm gonna have some of this potato puree here, or pumpkin puree. So this is from the soup when it was a little bit thicker, right? But it just has such a nice velvety look to it, right? So I'm gonna plate my potato like in the middle here. So I want something to kind of decorate the plate, right? So I'm gonna make like a whoosh, right? On the pumpkin puree, put my potato here, put my chicken on top, put my veggies on different places, and then I also have the sauce that I'm gonna put on a part of the chicken and let it drizzle down, right? You following me? All right, catch this. All right, here we go. So you put down on a point, and don't take your hand off, just let the sauce finish it, right? See? Very, very simple. All right? Chicken is nice, well rested. I'm not gonna cut it, all right? I'm gonna just leave it like that. The potato, I scoop it. Right. You can slice it up if you want and layer it like here, but I'm just gonna go with, and you notice I take a scoop that's a similar size to the chicken, right? You put it there. Remember I have my little palm tree? I stick my palm tree there. All right. The veggies, you can stick them in the mash as well. And you just want something nice, clean, beautiful, you know, not too complicated. I find that odd numbers work well on a plate. So if you're ever doing vegetables, just always remember, use 3 or 5 or 7, something like that. Not 1. 1 is just too little of an odd number. All right, but 3 and above, good to go. All right. And then for your sauce, you can put it in a small ramekin and put it on the side because you want to preserve the beauty of the plate. You can go drizzle, you can go crazy any way you want. But for me, I like it clean and nice. So I'll just put 1 little drizzle right there. Right? And this is home style, but it's just now elevated to a gourmet experience based on how you treat the plate. All right? That is your main course. Done. Now, for the dessert, all right? I'm gonna put 2 bananas here, but before you get to that, let me rinse this out. All right? So you're gonna need some sugar. 1 whole banana. All right. Let me take a little bit of brown sugar. All right. Now, the brown sugar, you're just gonna add just enough to coat the base, not too much. And you're gonna add a little water because you want it to melt and it's gonna quickly caramelize. And right at the moment it caramelizes, you're gonna add the rum, take a little lighter, light it, and that's your flambe, all right? So a banana, and spend the time, take out these little strings here, you know? Not even monkeys like these things, and we don't like them too. All right, so you're gonna cut right along the half of the banana. Very careful, don't cut yourself. All right. All right. See sugar melt, start to caramelize already. Put your banana, bam. All right. Then you can take a fork or a tongue, anyone you want. Once sugar is on one side, you kind of flip that for the presentation purpose. See how quickly it starts to caramelize. No joke. Have your white rum. And light. Whoa. Yeah. So, all right, one thing about flambe is once it's on the stove and you hear that aggressive bubble when you pour in the rum, if you ignite it immediately, it can have a large amount of flame, right? Once you have that bubble, just let it calm a little bit. Ensure there's nothing at the top that can catch fire. And you just remove it from that in case there is. You ignite it and let the alcohol burn off. As soon as the alcohol burn off, what is left is just a hint of alcohol flavor, but more so the flavor of the rum mixed in with the crispiness of the sugar, and the banana is there, or if you have other fruits you want to flambe, it's perfect, you know what I mean? So just watch that. In the event that something does go wrong and it catch, do not, I know your first instinct is to douse water on it, but one of the best ways to do it is flour. If you have flour or cornmeal or a blanket, you need a dry heat. What happens with water is that water tends to throw it and splash with the heat. So what that does is it splash and spreads the fire, and the fire can catch a curtain or something like that, right? When you have flour or something dry, it dissipates the heat immediately, right? And that way it's safe. It's gonna create a mess, but I'd rather have a mess than a burnt down home. That's pretty cool. All right, get it over here. And a bit more white rum. There you go. All right. Ice cream. So get our ice cream, but before that, we can add our banana here. Oh, shoot. That's all right. This one broke, but it's not gonna mess with it too much, don't worry. It happens. All right. Failing your way to success. That is one of my motto. You know, and failures, as much as we want to run from them, as much as we want to wish that it never happened, you just have to, it's just a part of the cycle. It's a part of life. It helps you, and the most important part is to learn the lesson from that failure. All right. If you don't fail, you'll never exercise your true potential. That's what I think. I think when you fail, it humbles you away and it forces you to re-up. You know what I mean? Re-up. Just go at it again, come back stronger, and just do it bigger than you did it before. So yeah, failing my way to success. I'm doing that 7 days a week, 365 days a year. That's my motto. Let me throw away this. Let's get the inside of it pretty clean. And then I have some Nestle Buckingham ice cream here. Rum and raisin. Get my ice cream scoop. And just 2 scoops. That, and a little bit of chocolate sauce. Oh my God, that is lovely. That is lovely. Right? And then our coconut rum caramel sauce. Just all over that. So you can imagine the flavor coming off of this nice ice cream sundae. That is it right there. Need nothing else. Draw this. This is beautiful. So there you have it, guys. Our 3-course home-style meal presented by me, Brian Lumley. We have a cream of pumpkin soup with a chicken stock base in the mid. And remember, you can do it a vegetarian style as well. Your main course, I use some of the pumpkin puree to style the plate. We have carrots and sweet pepper as your vegetables and a nice, delicious pan-fried chicken breast. Perfectly done, not overcooked. We have a cheesy mashed scallion potato, and we did a guava glaze barbecue sauce, right? For your dessert, old decadent banana flambe with rum and raisin ice cream covered with chocolate syrup and featuring our Maggi liquid coconut milk rum caramel sauce, right? That it gives you some sort of a little bit of a lighten the guilty pleasure, if you will, because it's not as much cream used to make in the sauce. So at least you know you're saving some of the guilt trip on this dish, right? I hope you learned a lot today. Please leave them in the comments, all the comments, all the suggestions, all the feedback, anything you think you've learned today or taken away from today. I'd really like to hear back from you guys. And yeah, that's my cooking lesson for today. I hope you've taken a lot out of this experience. I want you to know that from just a simple ingredients, cost effective, so cheap, you can make a gourmet meal for you and your loved ones at home, especially for your special lady on this special day. Happy Mother's Day, guys.